Hello, how's it going? I'm Andy, and welcome back to episode 11 of Scratch Building Basics. I thought I'd start this episode off just with some sketching. So I'm going to attempt to build the poop scoop bot from Love, Death and Robots. So first, I thought it would be a good idea to break it down into simple shapes. The body here is just basically a cube, and the legs just two long rectangles, and then there'll be some connectors going from the legs to the body. Then he's got a couple of small feet at the bottom here, and then like a tube. I guess it's a tube thing for sucking up the poops, pretty much. And yeah, that's about it. But the build itself will be a bit more refined than that sketch. I want to try and find a shape with nice round edges for the body, and then for the legs I want to try and find it. The legs have like a nice curved top edge here, so I want to try and find something that looks a bit like that. And then not to forget the connector bit. I don't really know what I'm going to use for that, but I'm sure I'll find something. And yeah, that's about it. And then I nearly forgot, I'll have to find parts for the feet, and then for his well, I'm calling it a skirt for now, a skirt thing, but I think I'll use maybe electrical wire for that. But yes, so feet and the skirt. So yep, that's all the bits. I'll just get my bits box now and get a wee look through it and see what I can find. This is just one of my bits boxes. I would call this one mid-size, interestingly shaped containers. So there's bound to be something in here. I had this one out for a previous build. I've already got it marked out here, but I think the corners of it are pretty good for the legs. And I've got a couple of boxy things here. This one could be quite good for the body, but I think it might be a bit big. So there's another one here that nice rounded edges. Again, it's not perfectly square, but that's okay. And yeah, I'll be able to cut that down and make a good body out of that. So I'll get all the stickers off them and get them marked out for cutting. I've just used some tape there to mark out where I'm looking to cut, and it's just easier to have a line to follow when you're cutting it. You know, it's handier to draw it out or use tape to mark it out. Just use my Dremel to cut all that up, and I'll keep all those offcuts. You never know what they'll come in handy for. And that's what I'm left with. That's my starting shapes anyway. I'll just take some styrene sheet now and fill out the forms a bit. I just ordered a multi-pack of this styrene or plastic card on eBay, and it just came in with 5 different size sheets for like $4.50 I think it was. So I got those glued on and trimmed it down with my Stanley knife and just give them a good sand, give the edges a good sand, just to try and get them as flush as possible. And you can see the shapes coming together there now. That's actually a pretty good shape for a ship, but maybe another time. I'll try to stay focused, but no, that's good shape, alright. Yeah, I'm gonna fill these gaps just with some Plasto. I've used it before, but I think I've used it in the wrong places, so I think this is the proper application for it. So I'm just gonna put some on here and then smooth it out just with a wee offcut of styrene and spread it around and get it smoothed out, and then just let it dry and sand it smooth. And brilliant job filling the gaps, nice and smooth. This is it after I've sanded it, and yep, looking good, nice and smooth, no more gaps. So now I need to think about these connector bits to connect the legs to the body, and I've got this clamp, just a cheap pound shop clamp, and I think it's going to work pretty well. I'll probably have to cut it down with the Dremel first, but the pieces fit there nicely, look good. I'll bulk them out a wee bit with something. But yep, I'll get them trimmed down with a Dremel later. And then for the legs, I've got these bits and pieces. I've got a couple of toothpaste caps, those are soy sauce bottle tops, and then some lids off something or other, and I think they're going to make up some nice feet, something like that, I'm thinking. So I've got my caps glued on the bottom here, and I still have a few wee parts to glue on the lids there and the soy sauce caps, but I want to get this skirt sorted first. So I've got this electrical wire. I just stripped the wire out from inside it just to make it a bit more flexible, and I'm going to get it stuck around the bottom here for the collection tube. That has glued on nicely, looking good. And maybe get these feet finished, get these other caps glued on, and just make sure they're nice and secure. Use plenty of baking powder and super glue for sticking these on, and just scuffed up the surface with my knife first. Now to try and help him stand up, I've got these washers, and they're nice and heavy. So what I'll do is glue a couple onto his feet. I'm hoping they're going to fit over yeah, they actually fit perfectly over the soy sauce caps. So I'll glue those onto the bottom first, and then stick the feet onto the legs. And then I've got my wee clamp here. I'll want to get it cut down first just before I get it stuck on, so I'll just use my Dremel, get the extra bits cut off it. So they're going to fit on top, something like that. And then to fill them out a wee bit here, I've got these small bacon beads, and they actually fit perfectly into the clamp and just finish it off nicely. So they're going to connect to the legs, something like that. I'll maybe use a wee bit of wire or something just through there. And but before that, yeah, I want to use this bit of cable tie just for like a reel for those supports to run on. And it's pretty big cable tie, like, but it's going to do the job nicely. So I'll just get those cut to size and get them glued on, and then I'll move on and get the supports glued on the top, and then I can hopefully get it put together. So for these supports, I want to make sure they've got a really good grip on the top of the body here, so I'm going to use my Stanley knife just to scratch up the surface of this pad in a kind of a grid, just to give the super glue plenty of teeth to grip to. And I did the same on the top of the body, and that should give it plenty of grip just to support this. And yep, that's the supports on. And just to help me attach the legs, I've glued some wire down into the clamps here. It's just some aluminium armature wire, and got my holes drilled in the legs, and that's him together. And what I've done is I left gluing these feet on to last, just to give me a wee bit of adjustment, just to help me hopefully get him to stand up on his own. So I'll get plenty of glue on that and get it on, and then I can hold it in position, hopefully as upright as possible, and then I'll call in my extra limb, otherwise known as Mel, and get the spray activator added. And at the minute it's not feeling too sturdy, but these joints, don't forget, aren't glued either, so I'll get some glue on those and call in my extra limb again, and that should sturdy it up a wee bit, but it's still not feeling too good. But there's still one more join to get glued, so I'll get it glued up, and I shouldn't need my extra limb for this one. But even after gluing that, he's still not feeling very upright. So I'll probably have to add another couple of washers to the feet, just to give that extra bit of weight. It's pretty obvious that he really doesn't want to stand up on his own, so I'll go ahead and add a couple of extra washers, just for that extra weight, and that's it sorted out. And just hit it with my activator here, and he's standing on his own. But to be honest, he doesn't feel too secure. I mean, the slightest breeze and he's going to fall over. So I'm going to have to add a base. I'm just going to have to do it and add a base, which I really should have done in the first place. So I've got this wooden coaster. I'm just going to go ahead and glue him to the wooden coaster. He fits on it just about. So that's going to do lovely. And just get him glued to that and get him primed up. And I stuck a couple of extra washers there just on the connector pieces, just because they weren't sort of the same on either side, and it was annoying me, so it just sort of made it a bit more symmetrical. And yep, that's him primed, ready for paint. And the plan is nice clean paint job, and maybe a wee bit of dirt around the feet, but yep, nice clean crisp paint job for this guy. So first things first, going to take my big brush and just give him a coat of white all over, and it's probably going to take 2 or 3 coats, but what I'll do is I'll just dry in between coats with a hairdryer, and that'll just speed things up a bit. But yep, all white. This is just from a Christmas collection. This is known as Snow White. And that's 3 coats of white done, and it was a good 3 coats. I really had to make sure the coats covered well. And I'm ready now to mask off. So I just made these templates myself. I just freehanded a template for the templates, and then yeah, just cut it out of masking tape. And so I'm just going to mask this off here, just keep it even either side, and then I can start painting the green. And the green paint is also from a Christmas collection of paints. And this is just some holly green to do the trick. And yep, I'll just go ahead and give it a good 3 coats of this green. And then I'll also do the support arms. I'm going to do those green as well. And that's 3 coats pretty much done. I'm just going back in with my smaller brush here just to tidy it up a wee bit. And ready to take the masking tape off here. I've been looking forward to this bit. And just to make sure the masking tape wasn't too sticky, I stuck it to my board here first, just to try and take some of that tack off it. And what do you know, it's taking the paint off with it. Great stuff. So much for my clean paint job. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this is gonna happen on the other side as well. I mean, I was drying the paint between coats with a hairdryer. That might have helped, but I don't know. But plan B, time for a weathered paint job. And what I'll do is I'll take my knife and do a wee bit, take some paint off some other areas, and then fill those areas in with some rust. And yeah, but I'll do that off camera, because that's gonna take a while. Oh man. But sure, plan B, let's go. Yeah, and the same thing happened there. I took the tape off on the body and it pulled the paint as well. So yeah, live and learn. Anyway, let's go. Plan B. So there we go. One well used poop scoop bat. And I even made him some accessories and a few different poops here to pick up. Yeah, I know. I just thought to make myself feel better, I'll maybe play with some polymer clay for an afternoon making some mini poops. But yeah, I did what I said I was going to do. I scraped some more paint off in some more areas, and then stippled in some of that rust effect with browns. I've actually done that in a few other videos, if you want to go back and watch some of my other painting videos. And yeah, it turned out great. I like the weathering, the way the weathering turned out. I didn't want them weathered. I wanted a nice crisp build. But sometimes that's the way it goes. You just gotta roll with it. You know, I did learn a lot from it. I've never did weathering in this sort of order, you know, and I've never used black before for doing my scuff marks with. I would normally use a metallic. So yeah, I suppose I learned a few things. But yep, there he is. And as always, thanks very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Any questions or comments, you just know where to go there, down below, work away. And remember, there are no stupid questions here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!